Hello. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's going on, y'all? One street over from where you live, and we're going to find out. One street over from White House. We got Mandy Christenson in, and Gerald Herman is on his way in.
Yes.
He is your city mayor.
City administrator.
Administrator. See, I can't keep it all.
Yeah, city
manager. Because I talked to the city mayor last time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because so we have the same situation. We have Buzzy Poole is our mayor.
Right.
And then we have Ryan Martin is our city manager.
Yes.
But you have a city executor.
Well, he's the same
Same
position.
thing.
Same as Ryan.
Same as Ryan.
Yes,
Okay.
City administrator form of government. So sometimes they're called city manager, sometimes city administrator.
Okay.
But essentially, they're the CEO of the city.
Okay. Very good. And the reason why we've had Mandy has been coming in for a long time. And we actually have her in more than we have the chamber, the Robertson County Chamber. And we've got to get better at that.
We'll get
saying that.
Yeah.
I keep saying that, and then y'all got to call me. I just tell them to call me too. But anyway, so we're working on that. But we want to know about the communities around us. I had a couple of people say, LaVern, we love hearing about all the local things. We really need to be hearing about what's going on in the White House in particular.
Yeah.
And so I had several people that said, can we please get some kind of a report after your mayor and alderman meeting?
Right.
And y'all meet on I want to say the third Thursday.
It's the third Thursday
Right.
of every month.
I'm so proud that I recall
know.
that. How about that? And so since y'all meet on the third Thursday of every month, come on in here, Gerald. Come on in. I think that's him, right?
Yeah.
Have him come on in here. But since y'all meet on that third Thursday, this worked well to have y'all right at the first of the month. We're going to let, I've got super allergy tickles in my throat. You're going to pull that microphone to you. Yeah. Pull that right to you so we can say hello. I've talked with you on the phone, but I've never got to, I got to meet you at a forum,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
At that. Mm-hmm. That's what Mandy reminded me of.
Okay. All right.
But normally we're on the phone.
Right.
And who is it that's with you when we're on the phone?
Derek, my assistant, yeah.
Your assistant. So we ended up talking to both of them. So, no, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I'd like to have Derek here, but I think he had an injury yesterday he was trying to take care of, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we can always put a third one in here at the
Yeah.
table. So, look at us. This is the White House hour. So,
Yeah.
where do we want to start, guys? We can start wherever. Do you want to just tell us how things are going as far as
Let's start off with some fun. And
okay, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do the chamber fun stuff first.
It's called fun. So let's talk about Christmas parades. It is Christmas parade weekend in Robertson County.
Yes, it is.
Parades happening, I think, in just about every community except for Greenbrier. I think they've already had.
They had their Saturday, but they had some rain because our band was supposed to be in it. Because I'm a high school teacher, and so they didn't get to be in it because of the rain.
Yeah, and they worked so hard too.
I
so
know, I hate it.
that.
But they're going to be in the Springfield one.
That's great. That's great. So our parade is the same day as the Springfield parade. It's December 6th, which is this Saturday. I can't believe the end of the year is here already, but we are super excited. We've got Deck the Decades is our theme. So
awesome.
we're expecting a lot of really creative entries. It begins at 3:00. And then immediately following the parade, we have our Christmas on Main Street celebration, which is where we will light our Christmas tree. One of our high school choirs will come out and sing a few songs for us. We'll have some refreshments like hot cocoa and cookies and milk, and also some crafts and activities for the kids to do during that. And it's a pretty short little ceremony, and of course, it's all while supplies last.
Right.
But so it's always the great cap to the parade to have that tree lit and, a hallmark moment and you feel very Christmassy and all the lights are on and you've seen the parade and it's just, really nostalgic and a great tradition to have in a community. And so
beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
But
so
you can get to that one and then come back to Springfield.
Absolutely.
You can do it.
They have time.
You can do it all. You have time.
I really recommend people hit Cross Plains because theirs is first and then come to ours and then go to Springfield. So
make it a Christmassy kind of, if you're not in the Christmas spirit after Saturday.
That's right.
You just aren't living right. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you're the Grinch. And that's what Sheriff Van Dyke, he has the luxury of being at the front of most parades. And of course he also has the ability to to determine how he gets places, and so he hits all of those parades and tries to make the rounds. And of course, some of our elected officials do as well.
That's hysterical. I love it. But yeah, you can absolutely get to every one of those guys.
Yes.
There's no reason you can't.
That's right.
And I think it's going to be wonderful. But yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend.
Tell our Grand Marshal is.
Who's your Grand Marshal?
Why don't you tell him?
No, I'll let you go ahead. You said you were involved in that.
So we have Elvis is our Grand Marshal. So
we talked about that.
Yeah. So we're very excited about
That'll be
that.
fun.
Yes.
I love that.
Straight from Memphis.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of cousins that are affiliated with Elvis Presley Enterprises that were at my house Friday. The Elvis artist, Betty Harper, is my cousin.
Oh, okay.
And her daughter, Loretta Harper, is the one who restored all of Elvis's costumes.
Wow,
So we're
that's
quite
nice.
connected
Yes,
to
you're
the whole
very
all
familiar with
Elvis. So
Yes.
I'm sure they don't live, they live here, but they're in Memphis all the time. So I'll have to ask them, say, hey, are you going to talk to Elvis when he's in town?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
so
And,
anyway.
and of course, we will live stream it. So if they aren't able to make it up to White House, we will have it live streamed on our
Okay.
chamber Facebook page, and I think we get it live streamed on the city's Facebook page as
cool.
well. So we'll do that, and we have I have the honor of being one of the MCs, and we're at the grandstand with Donnie Eden, one of our local partners, and we get to talk about all the parades, and sometimes we go off the rails while we wait, while those gaps are there. But we'll talk about some fond memories of White House. So it's a lot.
So
of
you're
fun.
going to be talking, you're going to be like, well, there's the so-and-so, and you're going to be
yes.
doing that's fun. That's fun. So I think you're going to do great. That's
Yes,
awful.
it's-
I
it's
love
always a lot
Donnie.
of fun.
He's a good friend. But
Yes.
so very good. Well, y'all got a big day Saturday. Everybody's got a big day Saturday.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's going to be a great day.
Ours is
So-
bigger, though. Ours is bigger and better.
Yours is bigger and better. Now, you're here in Springfield. So be careful there, Jerry.
I
Gotta be
can get
careful, Jerry.
motivate Ryan to get out there and make it his even
That's
bigger and
right.
better.
Yeah. Ryan's going to be going, LaVern, what are you doing? It's like, it was by request, Ryan. Having y'all, no, everybody wants to know what's going on in White House because, so much of us, so much of what happens in Robertson County is in White
Oh,
House.
absolutely.
Yes.
But where do we want to go from here? As far as, do you want to kind of jump off and start talking about the mayor and alderman meeting, or do you want to just kind of run through your litany of things you've got with
We can
chamber?
just go back and forth.
Okay.
I want to brag on our small businesses. Last weekend was Small Business Saturday,
Right.
and really want to encourage everybody out there to remember to shop locally as often as they can. I know it's very tempting to hop online and do a lot of shopping, but these small businesses really depend on this holiday revenue because this is their time to make the money and end up in the black. And so, if we can encourage people to make one or two purchases in town that they might have made online, it will make a huge difference to all the businesses in our community. And we just had our Jingle and Mingle Around Town at the beginning of November, and we think we raised close to $70,000 of revenue for all
really
of the
good.
businesses that participated. And so that's a pretty big economic impact for a one-day
yeah.
event. And so if people can just think about, $40 or $50 here in Robertson County as opposed to online somewhere else. And of course, the sales tax dollars still impact our community, but it's those small businesses, and those small businesses are the ones that are employing your neighbors, and they're supporting your sports teams and investing in your school system. So it's really important to show them that local love.
And if you don't, everybody we lost our Deja Vu. And they just did not have enough revenue coming in.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Golly G's up in Greenbrier.
Yes,
Now
yeah.
Helen's Donuts is going in there, but no, you hate to see those things. Those were
Absolutely.
popular places that just were not seeing enough love from everybody to keep it going.
Right.
And you just, my husband and I were business owners for 20 years, so
Yes.
it was different, but it's still. You've got to have that local. You got to have that
You
local.
absolutely do. You need
work.
that support,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you haven't ever done it, you really can't understand
no.
being a small business owner and the there's a dream and a passion for it because most people would be much better off working in corporate world than what they put themselves
You better
through for a
believe it.
small business. But we need those small businesses because they're the
Yes, we
backbone
do.
of every community.
They really are.
And so it's really, really important to remember that. And remember that too, social media warriors, that kindness counts. And let's be nice on social media because we don't have to always post the negatives or your opinions. If you've got a bad opinion of it, then maybe you should keep it to yourself. yourself unless someone asks you personally about it.
Yeah.
So because that's also very devastating and discouraging for these small businesses that work really, really hard to have one bad experience that kind of blows up in their face. And so just remember, if you're not going to say it to them when you're sitting in front of them, you probably shouldn't say it behind your keyboard either.
That's a really good point. And it's to get on and make good comments and say,
Yes.
oh, this was wonderful.
Yeah.
And to brag on them and to do that. And I mean, that's a really good point, especially this time of year.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, come on, get some Jesus on you and Christmas on you.
That's
and act
right. Yes. Yeah. So even
know,
if you
yeah.
can't afford to go shop locally, you can afford to support them with an uplifting comment or
Yes.
a recommendation or a tag, because small business owners, they really watch that social media, and it makes a huge difference to them
sure.
to get those recommendations and tags. And if you're a social media nerd like me, when you get that extra follow or you get that review, you're like, yes, I've achieved something.
So funny.
yeah.
Yeah. I need to get better at it, but anyway, I try. So we've got all those things coming up. Shop local. We just want you to, we're going to be talking a lot about all kinds of local things that are going to be going on over the next couple of weeks, especially as we, start sliding into the holiday. And don't forget too, we got Winter Wonderland opened. It opened last weekend. And I think we'll be able to walk through it Saturday evening. So it's just all kinds of things
And
going
they're
on.
going to have horse and carriage rides too
Yeah.
at Winter Wonderland
Yeah.
and downtown on the square here in Springfield.
So, yeah, it's gonna be really
Jerry,
cool.
I mean, if
That'd
you
be
want to
nice.
talk competition,
Uh-oh.
we need to talk about
All
Winter
right.
Wonderland at J. Travis.
Yes.
Yeah,
So.
there you go. There you go. There is that. Now, I know
Yeah.
y'all also have your, did you do your Santa pictures in front of the
We
stagecoach?
did.
You already did that.
Yes,
Okay.
we did that the weekend before Thanksgiving, and we were blown away with the attendance. We were thinking we would see a few hundred people, but we saw over 700 people come.
Are
to
you
that
kidding
event.
me?
Yes, yeah. For a few minutes, we were-
700?
Yeah, we were deer in the headlights for just a few minutes, and then we rallied. But we had a lot of pictures with Santa, and really good feedback. So we're excited about that
Wow.
event. Will become an annual event. Yeah,
People.
yeah.
Wow.
That's
Well, everybody
very
wants
good.
their kid's picture with Santa, and then when you get it in front of a stagecoach, wow.
Yes,
And
yes.
I got, right after we talked the other day, I got to looking for I found some vintage like robes you could put on a Santa.
Oh yeah. See,
I need to send you that link because I was like, oh, this is what they need. I don't know
Yes.
why it popped up, but maybe this thing heard me
right?
talking.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
It does
Yeah.
sometimes,
It's like
yes.
all of a sudden I'm like, what are these vintage robes for Santa?
That's interesting. Yeah, we might need to look at that.
It was a
because,
Pinterest thing that,
Yes. Okay.
that popped up. So I'm just going to say, I was like, oh, that would look really good in front of the
Uh-huh.
stagecoach.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
but anyway, so I love, we're talking with Mandy Christenson. She is the president of the Robeson County Chamber of Commerce,
The
right?
White House Chamber.
Oh, what did I just say? Robeson
okay.
County?
Yeah.
White House Chamber of Commerce. Still early, y'all.
That's
And by
right.
the way, no school in Robeson County today because there is a special election, which is really interesting because y'all split with Robertson and Sumner. Sumner's no longer in our congressional
Right.
district.
That's right.
So Sumner County's not closed. Robertson County is. So another split there,
Yes.
which is quite
Ah.
interesting because we're in Mark Green's, what was Mark Green's district, and now we have a special election today, and we'll decide who our next representative in the House of Representatives is.
How about the
gonna be.
teachers? Do they have to go in?
No.
So you're out
We're
today?
all off today. We're all
That's
off today.
nice.
I'm going to go vote, and then I'm going to try to get some things. I was just talking to Mandy. We're doing home renovation,
Oh, okay.
and we've got to go get some stone for our fireplace. And so
Yeah.
I told my husband, I said, let's go do that. He's getting root canal, bless his heart.
Oh,
But so if you're a teacher and you get a day off, you're like, what can I get done? What can I
Yeah.
get done?
right.
Because you hate to miss school. You
Sure.
hate to miss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But home renovation and root canal that may equal.
I don't know. And we've been needing to do it for a long time. But let's ask his thoughts on black countertops or not. What do you think about black granite countertops? Should I go for it?
I think you should go with what you'd like to have on
Okay,
your.
okay.
You're the one that's going to live with it every
He's
day.
politically correct.
There you go. So anyway,
I'd like to touch on the businesses though for just a second.
yes,
you know,
absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm just playing.
you know,
But anyway,
we've talked about this all the time. You know, a lot of residents come up to us and they say, "We want this type of business, that type of business. We want a business that's going to be successful." We want them to be successful. We don't want to just bring somebody in just so for the namesake of bringing in a name brand or something like that. And it's so important. I think for our small businesses, really taking advantage of AI and where it's going, because we're going to be able to get to the point where they're going to be able to know exactly what side of the street their business needs to be on, what direction the front door needs to be pointed, and what sign needs to be out there in front that's going to capture the attention of the person going by. It's going to be pretty amazing. I think so. I think our small businesses need to be looking into that as it goes.
That's fascinating. I had never thought about that. I utilize AI to help with lesson plans.
Oh.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's it's amazing. That's people are like, I hate AI, and I'm like, well, you better get over it because it's here and it's not going anywhere. I have a nephew that works in I don't know his exact title, but he's in he's like a maintenance manager or something. And the proposals and things that he's able to build in AI and then tweak, he says he's just like knocking it out.
Is he?
And he's super smart. And I mean, he'll be running the place. I mean, he really is just that sharp, but he is utilizing AI, and he and I talked quite a bit about it. You've got to master it.
Oh yeah.
And I talked to my kids. They were, because we're in the creative, side. I teach audio and video production, and so we're always looking for that creative little hook. And they'll hit a wall, and I'm like, okay. I said, let's get on, let's see what chat says or whatever, whichever, and then we can tweak it from there.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And they're all artists. They're like, we hate AI, and I'm like, use it to your advantage, but don't let it do it all.
Right. Yeah.
And so I had never thought about storefronts and the way doors open and signage, and I mean that's brilliant. That's a really good point.
Right.
Yeah.
It can do that research for you that would take you hours or days, and it can do it in a matter of minutes. And, people really are afraid of AI a little bit, and they think that it's going to take jobs. But I attend a lot of workforce development conferences and educational opportunities, and what people need to understand is they need to embrace AI, because the ones that learn how to use it and work faster and more efficiently are going to be the ones that keep those jobs. Is AI going to take some jobs? Yes, but it's going to create a lot of other jobs.
I agree.
And so, and that's always what happens. Dr. Langford, our Sumner County Director of Schools, he will tell us that we are teaching children and educating them for careers that don't even exist yet.
Yes.
And that's very true. And that's what we're happening. And of course, we're seeing it happen at a much more rapid pace the last few years. And so that is a little intimidating, especially for those of us that are, on one side of the hill, so to speak.
Right.
But, I think that you make a really valid point. You've got those artists, they have to put the prompts in. And so my prompt is going to be different than your prompt. And so what AI gives us is going to be different. And then you take that and build from it.
Yeah, exactly. And Phil Valentine used to always love to say, whenever people would say, well, we're going to lose these jobs, he's like, you know what? We don't have wagon wheel makers anymore.
Right.
And that was one of his key lines. And I heard him say it so many times, but it's the truth. Yeah. Coopertown was named for the people who made the bands for the barrels for storing all kinds of things. There's some things that don't exist anymore because we have advanced beyond that.
Yeah.
And AI is just the next step. And so I'm not one of those that's like, I don't freak out. I tell my kids all the time, you live in such a cool age. You can do anything. Just be
really
aware of all the
unlimited.
parameters, but go for it.
Yes.
But I think that's a great point. I never even thought about what side of the street should I be on? How should my door open?
Yeah.
What hours should I be open?
Yeah.
That's one thing too, because you hear small businesses they will have adjustable hours, like Bernard Farms. Okay. They're open now. They've seen they can do Tuesday through Saturday and do a really good business.
Okay.
And they've had these set hours. But they've adjusted that. They're one of my sponsors. That's why I mentioned it. But they've adjusted their hours as they have seen. We have more business this day. This works better for this, and it's more feasible. But if you could get AI to help you set those parameters early on, you're ahead of the game.
Well, a lot of your national businesses, Jerry and I both go to recruit businesses to White House in Robertson and Sumner County to an International Shopping Center conference. And a lot of your national businesses, they know those things. They know what side of the street they want to be on and which way their door needs to face, and do they want to write in and a write out, or so they have invested in that. And so AI is opening that door for smaller businesses and entrepreneurs to learn those things that these companies have teams working on.
Oh, yes.
I love it.
Another fun fact I think is interesting, since you mentioned the two counties, Sumner, Robertson County. Our last census, we show we were about evenly split in residents. How many were on? I think we had like 6,000 on each county side. But 82% of the sales tax generated in White House is in Robertson County. And what makes that even better for like you as a teacher is that we split 50-50 with the schools on sales tax. So that means they're getting 50% of that, whatever, $2 million a year probably that's coming into the schools that Sumner County's not getting.
Right.
So that's interesting. Even though they have the same number of students to take care of, we get more money on the Robertson County side. So that's a fact for Springfield to think about.
Yeah, exactly. And with us having to do, and there's going to have to be a school
Right.
that's going to be built up in White House. And so,
Yes, we're looking forward to that.
yeah. And so, there's a lot of things, Dr. Weeks talks a lot about that. Mayor Vogel talks a lot about that.
Yeah.
And the money that's going to have to be spent on us, because we've got so many rooftops coming in.
Right.
Where you mentioned your census, because of the government shutdown that got put on hold. What's the status of your your new census right now?
Well, they're back to work. I had a conference with the census folks out of Philadelphia last week, and this week they're doing training for their field staff to get back out into the field. So it was kind of weird, because we had before the shutdown, it was they had a freeze on hiring, so that slowed us down, and then they had to shut down. Now the goal is, or the key is, how much work can they get done between now and January, I think is the 20th, when the possible next shutdown could take place. And so it's kind of stalled us from being able to get credit, I think, for this next fiscal year that's going to come up with the state and shared sales taxes with us. So we don't know if we're going to be able to get it done in time for that. So it definitely will impact the next 3 or 4 years as they wait for the 2030 census. So I still think we're ahead from the estimates that the state has for us by a couple thousand people. A couple thousand people at $750 a person. That adds up quite a bit of money. So we really need that money to come into us.
Well, and we'll just pray that there's not another government shutdown.
Yes.
Let's just
Yes.
pray big over that. Let's just pray everybody gets some sense and we don't have all that. But also, too, my husband will get me if I don't mention this. And I don't know if this happened whenever he was, because he is a criminal justice teacher now at Springfield.
Oh.
But for a couple of years, he was the safety coordinator for the transportation department.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something with a light pole. And it was in White House, but I guess on Robertson County side. And he goes, they had a really cool thing because I was able to report it as a citizen. And then they gave me a status. And he says it worked great.
Yeah, the app
And
that
so
we
he
use.
just,
Yeah,
he
that's our
just
city
wanted to
app.
he just wanted to give you
Thank
kudos
you
for that.
I appreciate
And so
that.
I'm thinking it had to have been when he was working as a safety coordinator.
I would think so, yes.
I would think because even though he's a school teacher now, he does drive a bus route to help out because they're so short on bus routes, so he's doing double duty, but he's not up in that area, so he wouldn't. I can't imagine that he would. So I think it was back then, but he did. He said, "Tell them to explain that. How do y'all do that? What is the process of that? Is that just an app that you use?
Just an app that we encourage people to download, the White House app, and then you can go on there and report, potholes or lights that are out or whatever other complaint that you may have for the city, and we'll address it. It gets put into like a work order system, and then they can respond back to the person, let them know it's done.
Well, that was the thing. Is he said it was really interesting because it kept him apprised as to what was happening. It was a work order, and then here's where it is, and here's how it's going. So he just thought it was super efficient, and it worked really well.
Yeah, it's
Staying connected
really
to the community is
effective.
important.
It's a really effective way for us or the city to handle those calls. And also, you see a pothole, by the time you get home, you may not report it, but if you've got that app, the next time you make a stop, you can report that and it's in the system and it goes to the right department. So sometimes if you make a phone call, it may take a little while for it to funnel through to the right department, but that app targets each department, and so it goes directly to that director's inbox, and they're able to take care of it and get things moving more rapidly.
Right.
And it's available on Android and Apple, so anybody can download it. It's also a great way for us to keep communications with our citizens open. So we'll send out notifications if there's a road closure for the parade,
yeah.
or if there's some sort of delay, or if a traffic light is down, we can let people know that this light's down temporarily. So it's really effective, and it is rapid. That's the good thing, because they want to get those cases cleared out as fast as possible.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's something. And, but he would get me. He goes, you didn't tell him. You didn't tell him if I forget that. So, but I'll tell you what, let's pause. We're at the bottom of the hour. So let's go ahead and let me pause and do one of my breaks here. And then we'll continue on. We are talking with Gerald Herman. He is the city executive or administrator. City administrator. We have city manager, Ryan Martin, same position. It's just a different title, the way they word it. And then Mandy Christenson is our president of the White House Chamber of Commerce, and she's in here all the time. She comes in here once a month. We usually have Jerry on the phone with Derek, right?
Yes,
and have the conversation. But we did talk to your city manager last week. City mayor last month. My goodness.
Mayor John Corbett.
Trying to keep all these people straight. It is just so funny. But we had a great conversation.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
This is something to, let me do the break and then we'll come back. But do y'all have the same structure then as what we have here in Springfield with the city alderman and the county, the city?
Yeah, we have 5 aldermen. A mayor and 4 aldermen. I think they
hold
have
that thought for a minute. Let's just go there. How we're used to what we have here.
Right.
How does that compare to what y'all do in White House? Let's talk about that when we come back.
Right.
But and we're not going anywhere. I'm just going to talk for a minute about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty, of course. Love talking about them. I was, they're our longest running full-time sponsor here at One Street Over. And it was really interesting when I pulled up the social media page for Rebecca yesterday. First thing that pops up, do you want to be a realtor? And it's really interesting because she is an expert at somebody that's coming out. They both are, because they both had other careers. People don't realize she was in radiology before her kids were born. She was in radiology. She went home to take care of kiddos. And then when they went to school, she's like, what do I really want to do? And she had gotten interested in real estate. She was doing it part-time. And so she said, where can I go to make sure if I'm with the right company that I get everything that I need? All those T's crossed, all those I's dotted, and it was Exit. She was with the Garden Gate team for years. Once Barry came out of his media marketing career, he was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years in Nashville and decided to go full-time into real estate. He became the broker, and they said, let's start a new branch in the Exit tree, so they're Exit Prime Realty. Well, they love to mentor others into this. I've actually pointed a couple of high school students to them that were interested in going into real estate. And I said, I know exactly who you need to talk to. And this is the at the beginning of the year, end of the year, the first of a new year. A lot of people want to start thinking about making those changes. If that's you, then you need to reach out. They're doing a push right now saying, hey, if you want to be mentored, if you want to really set some goals and become a realtor, they would love to talk to you about how to do it and how to do it right. You can call Rebecca at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or BUY-RobertsonCounty.com. But they're there to help you become a realtor, sell your property, buy property, whatever it is. Key things on if you're buying, you got to know how much you qualify for. Are you going to live in this area? They specialize in Robertson County properties because they're cross-Polanians for 30 years, but they have been all over, and they're also from Kentucky like me. So they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And if you live in Kentucky and work in Tennessee, you've got to figure into your bottom line that income tax that you're going to have in Kentucky that you don't have in Tennessee. So you got to look at the entirety of what can you afford? How much home can you afford? And they'll help you do that. And if you're selling, you got to make sure you know how much your property is worth, and they'll help you do a free market analysis right out of the gate to say, is now the time to sell? Maybe you want to sit on it for a little while because, man, they're not making any more land, but they'll help you make those decisions. Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Connect with them, sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy BUY-RobertsonCounty.com, and let them know always U-Turn sent ya. All right, so structure-wise, because that was one thing whenever I started having Ryan come in, I didn't really understand how all of our stuff works. We have a county mayor, we have this, so we have a county mayor, Mayor Vogel,
Right.
that the Robertson County side of White House is
Mayor
all
Vogel.
part of the county commissioners and all of that,
That's
right?
right. Yes,
So you
ma'am.
got that.
Yes.
But then you have the city government, which is separate and apart, even though y'all work together. But
Right,
it's
yeah.
just kind of, it's hard to understand because it's a lot.
Yes.
So you, just like Springfield, you have your city administrator,
Mhm.
and then you have your alderman,
Mhm.
and then you do also have an elected city mayor.
Yes.
So how does all that work together?
Well, it's, I mean, every,
Civics lesson here.
yeah, in Tennessee, there's a lot of varieties.
Yeah.
We're under a mayor aldermanic charter. That's what we are. Some have private acts, and some have. In our situation, the charter allows for a city administrator, and only if it's done by ordinance. So that means the board had to vote on it, and they did that in 2002. They decided to go from just a strong mayor form of government to having a government where the many of the responsibilities that was given to the mayor was transferred to a city administrator. So I have all the hiring and terminating responsibilities, running the operations of the city. But the mayor still holds the chief executive position and can sign certain contracts and has a higher level of authority. So it basically just some of his responsibilities are my responsibilities. And then in others, like me, I'm not sure how Ryan's charter is set up, but he is a city manager. He probably is he may be the chief executive officer that makes all the decisions and then has the board responds. Goodlettsville is a little bit differently in that regard too. And I'm not sure. I think you have a strong mayor. I mean, a mayor that runs for office here in Springfield, but in Goodlettsville, I think Millersville also. I think it's the board selects who they want as mayor for like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, 2 years, 3 years.
And it's usually someone from the board. So the board
yes.
has been elected by the population. And then
Interesting.
they choose from those people.
They choose you're going to be mayor, but then they have a city manager who really runs everything and is the CEO of the city.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's the way it's set up. But it seems to work. It's been working with Robertson. I mean, with White House I'm the third city manager since 2002. Been in my position almost 14 years. So, anyways, that's just the way it works there. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I mean, that because it's all different, and I didn't know that about Millersville and different ones. Because something else I didn't know is that the chairman of the school board is they just decide, okay, you're going to be chairman of the school board. I'm
That's
like,
how they do it,
really?
don't they?
That's
Yeah.
how- I was like, because I thought that was, I just didn't know. And I mean, again, this is civics, I know, but.
Well,
These are things I know a lot more about the federal government than I do local
Sure.
Well,
because it's all different.
Yeah, it's really
They
different.
all run it so differently.
Yeah,
So that's why I wanted to ask you about that because as I, having talked to your mayor last month, I was
Right.
like, okay, well, how does it work in y'all's
Yeah.
city
Right.
versus what we're accustomed
Yeah.
to? Okay.
I take the mayor and the board's vision. I always say this. I
Okay.
try to take their vision and make it work operationally.
Okay.
I know how the bureaucracy works and how things run and how to get things processed through. That's the main thing. And I think people probably don't realize, and maybe Mayor Vogel has spoke on this, but as a county mayor, you would think he would be in charge of all of the county offices, but he's not. Every one of those elected officials that have their own office, whether you're the assessor or treasurer, whatever, you have your own register of deeds.
Right.
They run their own domain there, and they don't have to answer to the mayor at all, or the county commission, probably to some degree. But unless they need money, I guess then they got to go to the county commission get that money.
Like, hey,
for budgeting stuff.
raise
so,
my hand.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's how it kind of works, and it's different than the federal government. Like you said, sometimes it's easier to figure out the federal government than the locals.
because they all have their
different
own little
variations.
thing, and I think it is because it's we have a constitution at the federal government that we don't have in the cities,
Right.
and so that does kind of cut things
Yeah.
differently. But that's very interesting. So, what are the points of the mayor? Because that's one thing they said. What happened at the mayor and alderman meeting? So, what happened at your last mayor and alderman meeting? Let's go through
Well,
that.
yeah, a couple of things. Usually, we after we go through our prayer and public comments and that, then the mayor always asks for any information that any of the aldermen would like to pass on to the board or our city attorney or Derek or myself. And so I just always have some notes for them to highlight some of the things that we've done. And one of the things, and I pointed this out at the chamber when I spoke, did the State of the City address, our wastewater guys have a heck of a job. And I show this video clip of Robin Williams at a campground, and they're taking the sewage in, and all of a sudden it blows the valve or blows out the tube, and sewage goes flying up in the air, and it comes down like rainfall. And I said, our police and fire, our police and fire, they definitely are heroes in our community. They risk their lives so many times, but our wastewater guys, they're dealing with this stuff that you and I are throwing down toilets and sinks, and they're having to deal with that stuff. So I just wanted to point that out to them, that we, because of our enlarged plant, that we almost doubled the size of our capacity, we had to change the level of licensing that we have for our staff. And so we had 3 of our employees had a grade 3 license from the state, and they needed us to have a 4.
Okay.
And that's the highest level you can go. And it's a very challenging test, very difficult. And I reported to them that all 3 of our grade 3s were able to pass the test. I was so happy about that. And now we have 3 grade 4s, so I'm really excited about that for our treatment plant. I did report to them that our membership for our rec center has just been growing like leaps and bounds. We only opened a couple of months ago, and we already have over 1,700 members signed up.
Wow.
Going, and it's over 200 every single day, people going in those doors and exercising, playing basketball, that walking track.
Yeah.
I got cameras I can see, from my office, and that thing's going all the time. People are walking on that track, so that's really good to see. I talked to them about the special census, so we're back operational on that. Slow month for planning. For some reason, we have nothing on our December agenda, so we canceled our December planning and Board of Zoning Appeals, which is really unusual for us to do. We almost have something every month. Congratulations to Eric Thompson. He was selected by the county commission to be I think it's the District 2 commissioner that represents White House. Mm-hmm. So we're happy to see that. I was really surprised when I read it in the paper. I was like, wait a minute, I just seen him. I didn't. He just joined our industrial development board. We had an industrial development board meeting, which, by the way, we were talking about Advanex, their expansion. They're almost doubling the size of their facility in the city, and we had Tate Ornamentals adding another building and another function to their operations.
Tate Ornamental. That is such a cool place.
Oh, that's such a great place. So so big plug for those 2 companies. Yeah. But Eric Thompson was on our industrial development board, and it's like I was so excited to see that he's really active. He's also, I think, on the planning commission for the county. And I let him know that we hired a new IT. We haven't had somebody on staff doing IT work since 2010, and we've always contracted that out, and we still will contract that out to some degree. But we did hire a young man, Ethan Briley, who's from White House, and he grew up in White House, so he's our new IT person in staff. Let's see here. We had I think we had one ordinance that had to do with a zoning issue for a residential area. They wanted to change it from this, I think, go to C1. That was approved. Let's see. There's a church that sits next to our city complex, Church of Christ, and their parking lots was so close to ours that so many times for over the years, their parking lot was used by folks coming to vote election day and basketball tournaments and whatever events we had going on at the city. So they've had to put up with that for a lot of years, and their parking lot has really taken a hit. So the city has gotten into an agreement with them. We're going to pay them $75,000 for a 10 plus 10 year agreement, 10 years and possibly an additional 10 that they're going to use for paving the parking lot, but an agreement that says that their overflow on their Sunday mornings and their special events they can use our parking lot, and vice versa, we can use theirs if we have overflow. But with our new build out of our new rec center, we've added a lot of extra parking there, so I don't think that'll happen very, very often. And the positioning of our front entry door now is not close to their parking lot. It's more away from their parking lot, which encourages people to want to park in our parking lot and not on the church's parking lot. So we did approve that, so I was really happy to see that because that took us some time to get to that. The last thing we're going to do on our city campus there that is going to enhance it, we put some digital signs there. I think it was about 10 years ago, and they've worn out. And they're at the corner. There's 2 of them there, but with 4 sides basically too. So we're going to get new signage. It was something that was Derek had been working on that project. So we are going to purchase a brand new digital sign that's going to sit at the corner and be able to capture the full corner of for whichever direction you're in. You'll be able to see it with more updated, I guess, lighting to it.
And graphics.
And graphics and stuff. It's going to make it really nice for us to be able to advertise events going on in White House. So we're excited about that. Our Public Works Department is wanting to build a new building. They've been asking for this for about 10, 12 years. We finally got enough money in the budget to allow that. And they're kind of overseeing the general contracting of it themselves. So they needed to get concrete poured. So we approved about $185,000 for a big concrete pad so they can go ahead and build a storage building this year. Let's see here. And they approved a study session to talk about our audit, our annual audit at their December 18th, 6 o'clock p.m. meeting. So we're going to do that. And so that was pretty kind of a short meeting. That's really all we had. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, and see, and it's just, it's one of those things you just never know when it's going to be busy. And now I think with the holidays coming up, people are kind of,
Yeah.
pulling back a little bit on that, but they'll,
Right.
you know, it won't stay quiet.
No, because
Not in this county
Right.
at
no.
all.
Once we get into January, we start our budget process. It takes about 6 months to get that. So
Oh, I
we'll
bet.
be actively involved in that. I'm sure we'll be having discussions about that each month and as we grow and things of that nature. But, one of the things that I reported to the board, to the chamber at the State of the City is housing. I know some people get really mad at White House for growing so fast and why they approve so many homes. I mean, there was a time when we probably had about 5,000 single family lots that were approved and were being built out and ready to grow. And so we really took off, and we were averaging about, for 3 years in a row, like 350 homes, single family homes being built each year. Then we went up over 400. Then we went over 500. And then I said, they're going to slow down because for the last 3.5 years, our board has not approved any large single family, high density residential developments to go in. And they haven't annexed any areas outside the city for that type of build out. So our inventory now is under 2,000. And it's going to continue to drop. There will be a time, I think we're going to get back down to this year. We're going to see another drop in the number of single family homes built because the national builders they're building out. Once they're built out, they're gone. And so what we'll have left is, lots here and there that'll be built out like we did when I first got here by local contractors, like Ben the Builder, those type of things. Those guys come out and they put up single family homes on lots that they can find. And that's where we're going to be in the next probably 2 or 3 years. But that doesn't mean our population doesn't stop because this growth that we've had is, and it's kind of funny about the census. I said, well, the good thing about the delay on the census is that we're building about 40 houses a month. That's about 100 people every month moving into White House in single family homes. So we're going to be, so they got more homes to count, more people to count now that they're for each month that goes by. But we are going to see a slowdown in White House as it will happen. But we'll probably peak somewhere around 25,000 people. I think once we hit that, and that should happen in the next, I would think 3 to 5 years or less. As we grow out, but the numbers are coming down now. Of course, and Mandy knows this, the commercial chases the rooftops. So we're, when I was saying, well, we're seeing a slowdown, I'm looking at people and they're like, what do you mean slowdown? We see growth everywhere we look in White House. Well, it is, but the commercial's following the residential, so we're seeing a lot of commercial growth, and we've approved that, and we're improving industrial growth. So we're seeing that. So
So as our rooftops slow down, we are going to see more commercial businesses coming in because they want to see those numbers. That 20,000 is a real sweet spot for a lot of the national franchises and restaurants and sit down restaurants and things like that. So we're starting to see a lot more interest from those type of businesses that we have not been able to recruit before because we didn't have the right traffic count or the right number of residents or the right number of daytime traffic and daytime I don't know, daytime shoppers and eaters and that kind of thing. But like Longhorns was recently approved, and so that's a national chain sit-down restaurant that's coming to town. And we've got some other things that have opened. Dos Bros opened recently, but we're also seeing a lot of small businesses. We've got an appliance and furniture store that'll be opening in January, and seeing some of our businesses move and grow as well.
So very good, and it's just so interesting. It's so exciting, as to be in this area and to see it boom. I was having a conversation with some folks from Clarksville about how that this area is just kind of filling in between Nashville and, it's just, you see the sprawl coming out of Nashville. And there's going to come a time where you're going to start, when you, on the 65 side, once you hit White House, you're going to almost feel like you're in Nashville, because you're like coming into the suburbs, and it's almost kind of that feel. Same thing with Clarksville coming in and all this. And you just got to go, okay, here we go. And you got to manage it well.
Right.
And that's the key. And
Clarksville,
that's why you want to make sure,
I think Clarksville, I mean, if they're not already, I mean, between them and Murfreesboro, one of them is probably going to top Chattanooga in residents.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing how that's happening so fast. It's just pretty exciting.
I mean, this area is just booming. We are blessed. A lot of people want to be here.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it a place that people want to be. So that's why we talk to y'all and stay on top of that and all those things. What are we missing?
Well, we're missing
about 10 minutes here. What else we need to talk about?
I think, one thing for us is political clout. It's really challenging being split between the two counties.
I can imagine.
You look at what happened in Sumner County, as they grew. Hendersonville really took off because of the lake, but they're all in on Sumner County, so they were able to surpass Gallatin, the county seat, and get more county commissioners in Hendersonville than there was in Gallatin, and really start shifting the power, the power situation in that county. We can't really do that. I mean, Springfield will always, I think, be ahead of us because they have growth going on too, and so we would not be able to overtake that just specifically with our Robertson County population. We just can't do it. So that hurts us for getting the county, number of county commission positions that we probably would have if we were all in just in Robertson County.
Oh, yeah.
It would definitely make a difference because we're sitting there. If we end up with 19,000, that's about where Springfield is right now. They're probably right around 19 to 20,000, but they got more county commissioners than we have in White House. We have, I think, 2 that maybe live in the city. And that before we only used to have just 1 for a while, but we do have 2, so that's helpful. I mean, it helps us a little bit, but it certainly would be more helpful if we were able to have more.
Right. Well, and then in the area that is in Robertson is so much commercial, right? So you don't have as many of the residences, and so that's of course it's a boon for Robertson County.
Absolutely.
With taxes, but it does. I can see your point. I can see your point for sure. I can imagine. She and I talk a lot about splitting, that Robertson Sumner thing. I just can't imagine how that would be. Very difficult.
It's like I go to mom and I say, "Hey, can I have this?" And it's like, "What's your dad say?"
Yeah.
And it's like I get, we get that. We do. We get that from the county commissioner. Some of the county mayors still ask me that, and it's just challenging. Handling like EMS, emergency medical services. That's a real challenge, and we found a solution for that about 10 years ago. I think maybe 8 to 10 years ago now. It's been, and it's worked out really well for both Robertson and Sumner County. Every once in a while, the head pops up and says, "We want our own," not on the Robertson County side, but Sumner. Because I don't know if you know this, but Robertson County takes care of all of White House for emergency medical services, and that's great. And Sumner takes care of Millersville and Portland, but rightfully so, because Portland and Millersville is on their radio system with Sumner County. We're not. Right. We're on the radio system with Robertson County, so that it's a really big benefit for our city, and the call volume is about the same for both of them. So it's not like one of them's getting shorted on that. They're both getting plenty of calls on that. But we really appreciate having Robertson County taking care of us on our emergency medical services.
Well, and you're getting an emergency room up there.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're excited about that. TriStar, they broke ground. They're going to be on the corner of Raymond Hirsch and 31W, so it'll be a freestanding ER with TriStar. So.
I think that's wonderful. I mean, because it's so necessary with the population you have. I mean, it's so necessary. Do they have a tentative open date on that? Do you know when that's?
Do you know?
No, I know they're going pretty fast. They'd like to get it open tomorrow, I'm sure. But
they move pretty quick on this.
Yeah, I would think in the next 7 to 8 months, they'll probably be pretty close to doing something like that. And then
groundbreaking. They indicated 2026, so I don't know what the timeline is, but I would say this time next year they'll be open.
And I think we're going to continue to see that because we do have the other groups.
Right, Ascension St. Thomas has also been approved to put in a freestanding ER, and they closed on the property. They have not broke ground yet, but I think that they're also moving forward with their plans.
Right.
Well, you figure that's going to help when it comes to the emergency transportation in that because they won't have to be going to Nashville or to here. Or,
Right.
you know,
Right.
they'll have a place where they can pick
Right.
up and deliver without having to spend that extra time in transit.
Right.
And so that's going to help
Yeah.
tremendously with those emergency calls.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
The convenience of it,
Oh,
because
yeah.
trust me, I know very well the time you spend in traffic.
Right.
Right.
I studied that for a very long time,
Yeah.
Right,
and it's only gotten much worse.
Well,
Yeah.
response
And,
time is so important in a
Yeah.
medical call, and
Yeah.
minutes matter.
Oh, my.
With a heart attack or stroke, and so our residents were having to go at least 20 minutes outside of the
Oh, yeah.
community to get medical care.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our first responders are quick and on the scene, but they can only administer so much that you need hospital and doctors and things like that. So, it is definitely a blessing to our community to have that access, and then they can get stabilized and then get transferred if they need to go to a hospital. But that emergency room will be able to do all the things that a traditional hospital emergency room can do, and so that's going to be so important for our residents.
I agree, and like I said, and then being able to get those emergency, the ambulances back out in service.
Yes.
because they
Right.
won't spend so
Yeah,
much
that's
time
true.
stuck in traffic.
Yes. Yeah.
That's going to
And
be a big deal
I mean,
for
that's
us.
going to be huge, 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 huge. And I just, when I heard that y'all were getting that, and now that you're getting two, that's
Yeah.
you better get that competition.
And as a result of that, we're getting an offshoot of that. We just approved at the last month's planning commission meeting a medical complex to go in on Sage Road, just down from where the St. Thomas would go, Ascension would go. So that, I think we're going to continue to see it because as our population grows, the medical needs grow, and we need facilities to get to. And so we don't have anything that really need it.
Right, that's one shortfall that we have in White House. Definitely is we don't have a lot of medical imaging opportunities. We don't have women's health.
Right.
So that's one thing that we've actively been recruiting is trying to make it so that our residents aren't having to travel outside of the community to get
Right.
those services. We even have some cancer care options possibly come into town.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
anytime that you can keep your community in your community, the better it is.
Well, yeah, and for any of us that have had to go to Nashville for medical, I hate going to Nashville anymore. I mean, I've spent so much time in Nashville, and it's such a part of me career-wise, but I hate going to Nashville anymore because the traffic is
Right.
just so terrible.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if I can get all my medical to where I don't have to go to Nashville
Right.
anymore, that is a huge plus for me.
Yeah. Well, and as our
Yeah.
population ages too, it's even more important to keep those amenities close by. But what's great about all of Robertson County is that we are close to Nashville, and that the healthcare that
If
that
you
they-
need it,
if you
it's
need
there.
it's there.
It's there.
But we've got
For your checkups and things like that. I don't want
Right.
to go to Nashville.
yeah, the providers we have here are fantastic. But
Absolutely.
if you need that next level of care, it's so
It's
convenient.
wonderful, that we do have that. We love you,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
we love you very much, and all the hospitals. But anyway, well, that's so exciting. Anything that we've missed on your side, Mandy? Because we've talked all about city. Did we miss anything from the chamber?
So we do have one other event that's
Okay.
coming up this week, and it is something new that we're doing with the museum.
Okay.
And that is we are going to start spotlighting a local artist, every December. So we have so much talent in Robertson and Sumner County. We decided that we would do that. It would help us build some more museum traffic and showcase what we have. And so our first artist is Tim West. And he is a photographer. He does a lot of photography work for the chamber, but he also has a passion for wild horses. So he will go out west several times a year and camp out and watch for these horses. And the photos that he gets of these horses are breathtaking.
They really are. I've
It's
looked. Oh,
it's
it's
amazing.
so good.
And so his exhibit opens Thursday night. 4 to 7 is the opening, and we'll have refreshments. The artist will be on site. You can order prints if you would like to. He's also going to have some scratch and dent sales from where he's traveled to different shows. So he's got some canvases there on site. But he also has some great photos of like the Comer Barn, which is over in Sumner County. So if you're a horse lover, you definitely want to come out to this. But just seeing how he captures it. I mean, there's so much personality, and he has a story for every photo. He can remember the exact that horse was running at me and I didn't move, and and so I mean he just really can tell you and pull you into that picture even more. And so and he also has some smoke and barn pictures. He's done a lot of photos of Robertson County, and so of course that's one of the things we're known for. So I would encourage everybody to come by, and even if you can't make it to the reception on Thursday night, his work will be displayed through I think December 18th at the chamber.
Oh, fun. Yeah, he's a very interesting fellow. I got to have his wife on. Keep meaning to try to get him in here. But he's an interesting guy.
Yeah,
very
he is.
talented. Very talented. So good. So have we missed anything on your side, Jerry?
No, I think I said we don't have no planning commission meeting, but we'll have a board meeting coming up here, and we'll see how that goes. And
Okay.
I always look forward to meeting with the board. You get to see them very often, but usually once or twice a month, maybe. Some of them come in to see me, but they have an important role in our city. It's really important what they do.
They're going to get their exercise Saturday because they'll be walking in the Christmas
there you
parade.
go.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Very
had to
good.
extend our parade route because we were meeting each other. The tail was meeting the
Yeah.
head.
Oh, how
So
fun.
we had to extend our route. So those that walk our parade may not appreciate that much because the way we changed the route makes it have an incline almost the entire way. So people get their cardio steps in when they walk that Christmas parade.
That's funny. So you're going to be on the hill, but that's fun. I mean, it'll keep you warm.
That's right.
It'll help keep you warm, and it's
That's
gonna. I
right.
think that we're looking at about 45 for a high, so perfect Christmas
It is.
weather.
It's-
Oh,
There's
is
no
it?
rain in the forecast.
Oh,
It's looking-
great.
So yeah, it's not 30. So because I mean it's gonna be 45, so that's kind of the warmer day we're having.
I'm holding
and,
that to you. You're gonna, yeah.
That's what I'm looking ahead right now. I'm one of those that if I've got something outdoors, I start watching it really quick. We had our Thanksgiving on Friday, and it was in the barn and all that.
Oh,
and
was
just
it?
Never broke like 40, 41.
Yes.
But we had heaters in the barn and all that kind of stuff. We have 50 people there. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we had a chance to visit. It's so nice to see you in
nice to see you,
studio. Come
yes.
anytime with
Okay.
Mandy. And I know we've kept Mandy a little longer. You've got another meeting to get to, don't you?
I do. I have a meeting at 9:00 with the Robertson County Chamber of
That's right.
Commerce.
Yeah.
It's the Workforce Development Board, and so we've got a career exploration day coming up for our 8th graders, and that's in collaboration with Robertson County Chamber, that Workforce Development, and Volunteer State Community College. So that's a really, really important, informative time for those 8th graders to go in and see some different career opportunities. And then they also have their Sugar Plum Ball coming up on December 13th, which funds most of that workforce development program that they do. So if you don't have a ticket for that yet, there's still tickets
You're
available.
kidding. I figured it was sold
No,
out.
I think there's still a few
That's
tickets.
like grown-up
and
prom.
it
That
is-
usually sells out like that.
it
I think
is-
people have not realized that they're doing it.
It's a lot of fun. They brought
Yeah.
it back a couple
Yeah.
of years
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
and so it is
I've
definitely an
been.
event.
It's a blast.
It is.
It's a blast.
Yes. And
I
they,
want to go.
they've got some great surprises lined up
Oh, I'm
this year.
sure.
So buy your tickets,
It's a
support
hoot.
workforce development,
It's
and,
a lot
and
of fun.
have some fun locally.
Well, very good. And you give whoever at the chamber my number and tell them to text me, and I'll get them on the calendar.
We'll
so we
do
can
that.
start. Anyway, so nice to see you. I don't know if I'll
Yeah.
have you by phone or you're going to come in again next month.
Well, we'll see.
See how it's going.
I will see how it's going, but I'll try to see if I can get in here. I'd love to have Derek in here with me too, because
That'd be great.
he enjoys doing this. So
Very good. Well, we'd love to have you. And with all that said, we're going to wrap it up today. And y'all be safe driving back to White House. And all of you, the roads are fine. I mean, we didn't get the ice that they were talking about, so that's good. But no school today in Robertson County. It is a special election. Please get out and exercise your right to vote. Can't stand to see that wasted. So please get out and vote today. Tomorrow, we'll be hearing from a couple of the principals here in Robertson County. So get ready for that right here on 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.